Okay. Check this real quick. Looks good. Sorry for that. That probably blew out your mic. Whoever's listening to this, I apologize. I was warned last week that when I talk closer into the microphone, it like blows out speakers, so I apologize. Welcome back to Microstream. I'm working on fossils under my microscope every Monday, 4 to 5 p.m. Arizona time. Today, as with the last several weeks, I'm cleaning off a dinosaur fossil that was collected from the 80 million year old Menefee Formation in New Mexico. This is a discovery that I am preparing, cleaning off and gluing back together so that the team can work together to identify. You're watching this stream right now, you're seeing part of my pick. This is a dental pick. And right now I'm touching on some light gray matrix. This is some material that has been basically cemented on top of the bone. And then down here, if I move it just a smidge, this kind of yellowish area, this is the original bone surface. So all of this over here is what I'm going to work on cleaning off today. I've got some music that we can all listen to that gets my streams copyright claimed, so not making any money off of this, just in case anyone was curious. When YouTube runs ads on my videos, I don't get a cut of that, no matter what. And until I get something like 6 times the amount of viewership on my channel, there is no chance that I will get a cut of that. So go ahead and use ad blockers on this to your heart's content. You're not hurting me at all. Don't give Google free money. This is the last Microstream that I'm going to be doing for the year. There's one more Monday left in 2024 next week, but I'm not going to be at home, so I can't stream. So instead, you can look forward to an episode of the Geological Eras Tour, which is the podcast that I release on Mondays where I can't do my Microstream. If you haven't seen it, I am releasing a virtual museum game on Steam. It's for free. It is early access, so this is a very early beta version. It is far from complete and may not work very well, but if you are interested in being one of the first people to try out this type of software, this project is really built around trying to make fossils far more accessible to the public than they are right now. A lot of the stuff that you see in museums is not actual fossil material, it's replicas, and there is a good reason for that. It's safer that way. But if you want to really understand fossils, you need to be looking at the real thing and not plaster or resin replicas. So over 2.5 years now, working on the Parent-Teacher Guide to Paleontology, I've been sharing my own photography and my own knowledge about different extinct species. I've written over 176,000 words and published them on PT Paleo, so there are, if you're interested in learning about this stuff, there is a huge backlog to enjoy, and all of that unlocks if you give $3 a month. That's it. So I think that is quite affordable. But in addition to my photography and my knowledge, I also have 3D scans, 3D models that I've been making of fossils over the past year. These include a mixture of things from my own personal collection that I've picked up over the years. This includes things in other private collections, but also publicly owned specimens, stuff that comes from public lands in the United States that belongs to all U.S. citizens. And because of that, they're able to be published into the scientific literature, which means that they count, for the purposes of researching extinct species and researching the ancient past. So I've been taking all of these scans over the last year. It was earlier this year that I was able to finally get my hands on the right equipment to be able to do photogrammetric scans. People have been making 3D models of fossils for about 10 years now, but much to my consternation, no one has really tried to load those into something like a video game engine like Unreal and create software where you can get up close and interact with these things the way that you can in, you know, a 3D virtual simulation software. So at the beginning of the year, actually it was late 2023 is when I started working on this project, but over the course of this year, I've been growing in confidence that I actually could release this software. It was just a personal attempt to start. I had no idea if it would actually pan out, if I'd be able to actually succeed in making something with enough visual fidelity, something that actually ran, and so forth. But after having quietly play tested alpha versions of this program throughout the year, and paying my dues to Steam, which is the largest PC gaming digital distribution platform for this type of software. Not just games, but educational software and other types of media. I've gotten permission to release this into the Steam Early Access program, which means that I will be able to publicly beta test the software, which is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to get this into as many hands as possible, get this tested on as many devices as possible, so that when it comes to optimizing not just the software to run on a variety of different types of hardware, everyone's home PC is slightly different, especially if you build them custom like I do. But also people's different learning needs, visual needs, other types of ability-based needs. So I'm really excited to be able to continue working on this project, which will be probably something I tinker on until I'm dead. This will probably be something I do for the rest of my life, because I'm hopefully never going to stop finding new fossils and scanning new material, visiting new collections and so forth, writing new articles. And the articles, at least the ones that have been released to the public so far, are partly integrated into the software. So you walk up, you see a 3D model of a fossil, you can get a little bit closer and inspect it, and listed there is a bunch of information, including what it is, where it came from, if it's a public specimen, and then a QR code on many of them that you can scan that brings you to the Patreon page that has that unlocked free article for you to read. So that's where all of my more meticulously researched stuff can be seen. And then, of course, from all of my time as a volunteer in a couple of different museums, I've learned that a lot of people really, honestly, just want to run and climb on exhibits. You know, they might learn a thing or two, but mostly it's about the shock and awe of seeing something ancient and thinking about what it would be like to jump on it and run around. Unfortunately, some people visit museums and they do jump on exhibitry and run around, and that is not cool. If you have ever done that, you are literally the worst. But in Shadowbox, it doesn't matter. You can't hurt a 3D model, right? And so there's no reason for me to design exhibitry defensively. You know, this is something that isn't necessarily relayed to the public very often, but one of the things that museum exhibit designers have to accommodate for is the fact that people will come in and be rough, and that even if you have museum security, you know, sometimes stuff happens. People might break things, people are disrespectful. And so a lot of exhibits are built to keep things out of arm's reach, out of any conceivable arm's reach, which means they have to be several feet away from, you know, where a person is standing, and real stuff is not put on display because of various safety issues and, you know, all kinds of different things. And one of the cool parts about building exhibits in Shadowbox, which again are still very preliminary and will change, probably change radically over time. One of the cool things about designing those exhibits is that I don't have to put things out of arm's reach. I can let people get as close as they want because you can't hurt it. And in fact, I've made it possible to jump and climb on a lot of these. And as soon as we're going to put in some time to kind of work on the movement mechanics and so forth. But when all that's down, like, I'm going to be designing these exhibits like around the knowledge that people want to parkour on the dinosaur fossils. So that's exactly what I'm going to let you guys do. So all of that is releasing into early access for free on January 1st, 2025. You can go elsewhere on my channel and see a quick trailer I put together showing what that's like. It's releasing for Windows first. We're hoping to add Mac and Linux support fairly soon thereafterwards, but initially it's launching on Windows. And again, this is an early version, so if it doesn't run quite well, that's okay. You know, take note of what kind of hardware you're working on, hop on over to the Steam forums and drop a message there to let me know what kind of frame rate you had, if there are any other issues, so that I can actually design this stuff so that it is truly accessible. You know, I have a pretty good home computer. It was my birthday present this year because my family knew that I was working on this project and wanted me to have good hardware to actually be able to render all these virtual environments. So Shadowbox runs very smoothly on my end, but I remember what it was like to have a very low tier home computer or even just a laptop. And so if that's you, for a little while at least, Shadowbox may not run perfectly, but I still want to encourage you to download it and give it a try and let me know how it worked. Because ideally, I would like it to be something you can run on a laptop and not give yourself like motion sickness, you know? So that's more or less what I have going on. It's been a very busy year, kind of laying the groundwork for what I hope is reaping the rewards in 2025. I've got some other exciting stuff starting. I've got a part-time job working at the university that starts in January. I also yesterday just submitted my graduate school application, so I could be going back to school as early as fall of next year. And that's going to create a whole lot of opportunities, not just for me, but also for the kind of stuff that I can continue sharing with you guys through PT Paleo and through Shadowbox. So I'd like to welcome everyone who's watching right now. If you leave a comment in the stream chat, I'll see it and say hello. If you've got any questions you'd like to pose, if you just want to tell me about how your day is going. This is just a way for me to get in about an hour's worth of work casually and chat with other people and show you guys what's going on. there, welcome to the stream. Hi there, welcome to the stream. Cleaning off an 80 million year old dinosaur fossil from New Mexico. Feel free to leave a comment in the chat. Let me know what you're up to. Welcome to the stream. I'm working on a dinosaur fossil right now, cleaning it up. It was just collected a few months ago. It's around 80 million years old. Hi there, welcome to the stream. Hi there, welcome to the stream. Feel free to drop a comment if you've got any questions. Hi there, welcome to the stream. Working on an 80 million year old dinosaur fossil collected in New Mexico just a few months ago. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat, or otherwise just let me know how your Monday's going. So we are getting pretty close to the end here. Just gonna finish up cleaning for a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna shut down my microscope and my streaming setup for the year. I'd like to say thanks to everyone who drops by, not just today, but at any time if you watch these back later and listen to them. That's really awesome. I appreciate it. I hope that everyone has a nice, relaxing holiday that's coming up. I know a lot of people who are working on, the 25th and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, so not everyone has the chance to take some time off, but whenever you do get a chance to relax, even if it's not on the holidays specifically, treat yourself to something nice. This year sucked. This year was really hard to get through. Next year will also be very hard. And I also invite you to take time to think about ways in which stuff that happened this year was less than sucky, maybe even good, and that there are potentially some good things to look forward to in 2025. At the very least, I'm looking forward to releasing Shadowbox on January 1st. That's just around the corner. And if you've got a PC at home that runs Windows, feel free to, hop on Steam, download the game for free. Try it out, see if it runs. Either way, leave me some feedback so I can help improve and keep building something that will continue to be free to play and will continue to be part of. Hello.
Hello.
I was just wrapping up.
Hello to my cisgender male boyfriend.
Hi.
No transphobes today.
Not that I know of. Just gonna clean this for a couple more minutes and then shut down.
Just be getting changed.
That was my co-host, roommate, and partner referencing someone coming in to my YouTube comments last week and accusing me of having been born a woman, which is both not true and also not something I'm offended by. It's just incredibly funny because why do you care, Hi, Zeke. You just came in right as I'm wrapping up. Yeah, I'm thinking there is probably a better time to be streaming. It may be that next year, because I'll have a new schedule, I might do this from like 5 to 6. I don't know. It depends on how work and potentially grad school works. The baby, of course. Hopefully sleeping soundly now. I am poking at a chunk of dinosaur bone that was collected from the 80 million year old Menefee Formation. It's a rock unit in northwestern New Mexico. And I'm trying to get it all cleaned up. So what you're looking at right now, this is the matrix. This is sediment that's kind of cemented onto the bone. And I'm trying to clean it away so that myself and the rest of the team can take a crack at identifying what we think it is and whether it has any sort of scientific significance. Yeah, I can sympathize because I also have a very hard time sleeping as a 25-year-old adult. And if I was a little kid, I would definitely be, it's hard, you know? I wish I could just go to sleep during the day, but it's gotta be pitch black. If I lived in somewhere up north where the sun doesn't set for months, that would be a living hell, I think. No, I'm not sure what type of bone this is. That's part of why we're cleaning it and gluing it back together. I've been working on this piece for about an hour every week, going back several weeks now. And it's slowly gotten bigger in size as I glue more pieces together. And I have my suspicions, but the thing is, the more you clean it and the more you glue together, your suspicions as to what things are change all the time. So I tend to keep those to myself. At any rate, I was just going over that this is going to be the last stream that I do for the year because I am leaving my home microscope tomorrow. Do a little bit of traveling. So next Monday from 4 to 5 will not be a Microstream, but an episode of the Geological Eras Tour, which is the pre-recorded podcast that I release on weeks that I'm not around to stream. And that's going to basically be going over some of my motivation and different aspects of this virtual museum project that I've been working on, Shadowbox, which will be releasing into a free open beta on Steam Early Access on January 1st. So just a few days away, really. Yeah, I'll do my best. I'm glad that I'm gonna have to fly, which I don't do very often, and it's gonna be during the day, which is nice because I hear that people are, well, obviously people are freaking out about airplanes these days flying at night, saying they're drones and aliens and shit, and I don't really want someone flashing a laser at me when I'm just trying to get from point A to point B. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, airport security TSA can certainly be trouble. I've got about a 50-50 success rate getting through TSA without somebody having to fill me up. The problem is that I have a dental implant, and when I got it, they told me that it won't set off metal detectors, but it does. So when I go through TSA, it always you can just kind of look at the screens as you walk by through those metal detectors, and there's always an anomaly. It says right around my jawline, and I've got long hair that I wear down, so that area is kind of obscured. And about 50% of the time, I will be pulled out of line, or they'll have someone come and just kind of stick their hand, like caressing the side of my face, trying to figure out if I've got like a piercing or something. And it's like, no, it's inside, it's not coming out. It is what it is. Please let me be on my way. Yeah, that sounds really irritating. I have to imagine traveling with, traveling with medicines like insulin, stuff that's liquid through airport security is probably also really irritating, because I imagine, I don't know, those vials are pretty small, but they're probably good by the fluid limit, but yeah, that's good at least. I have made the mistake of trying to bring stuff over the fluid limit through TSA by accident, because, like I said, I don't fly very often, so I, at that point, had forgotten it had been several years, and I didn't remember just how strict TSA is. And so my luggage had just, like, regular sized, it was a regular sized, like, lotion bottle that had just been in there for, like, camping and, for my internship and stuff like that, and I had forgotten to take it out. So I get into TSA. Oh, and there was also a knife in my luggage, because, again, for camping and for my internship and so forth. And so I get into TSA, and they pull my thing out immediately. And they start digging through my luggage, and they pull out, or I get pulled aside, and they ask, like, what's with the Gerber? And I'm like, I am positive I am not packing any baby food in my luggage. And they say, no, you have a Gerber knife in here. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that, sorry. And luckily they didn't throw it out or confiscate it. They're just like, it needs to go through a checked bag. And then they keep digging through it, and they end up pulling out this, again, full-sized hand lotion. And the TSA person is asking, all right, again, you can take it. It just has to be in checked baggage. Would you like to keep it? And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, no, I didn't intend to bring this. It was just in my travel stuff. And I know as soon as we go up, you pressurize, you go up, it's going to, like, decompress. It's going to leak everywhere. It's going to leak all over my clothes. I don't want that. So in my head, I'm like, no, I don't want this thing leaking. You can throw it out. What came out of my mouth was, no thanks, I don't want it blowing up on the plane. And as soon as I said that, I was like, okay, that was probably the dumbest mistake I've ever made, and she can probably legally shoot me and arrest me right now. And fortunately, she just said okay and threw the thing in the trash and let me go. But man, like I said, I had not been on through TSA in a long time. I forgot kind of what the deal was there, and I don't know, it makes for a fun story. If I ever get put on the spot and asked to tell a funny story, that's usually the one I go with, because what an idiot. You know? Let's see, question came in. As someone who knows more about private collecting, have you heard anything about the alleged bone bed with multiple saurophagonax? If I have, it doesn't stick out in memory as being something I considered worthwhile getting more details on. You know what I mean? Because you hear people talk about all kinds of crazy stuff, and a lot of it is just not at all true in the slightest. So, I don't know. I don't think so. That doesn't sound familiar to me. Yeah, well, as you know well, as someone who interacts a lot with the enthusiast community, it is so easy to start a rumor about something that may or may not exist, or, I mean, it's hard enough to circulate factual information, right? That it's so easy for, maybe someone heard, there's a bone bed of some Allosaurus that are fairly large out on private land somewhere, which is almost certainly true, right? Just given how common the taxon is, how much of the Morrison is on private land and so forth. And someone heard large Allosaurus and said, oh, that might be saurophagonax. And then you get to, the more it gets circulated around, it just, So I'm not sure, and there's a very good chance that even the people talking about it also have no idea if what they're saying is factual or not. I don't know. Obviously, we were both at SVP, and saw the presentation on this research before it was officially published. Unfortunately, that was the big one that got leaked ahead of time, right? Or one of the ones that got leaked ahead of time. So people have had kind of a month or two to kind of circulate those ideas and whatever else. But I don't know. No one there I talked to about it said, yeah, there might be this stuff on private land that could be donated to say otherwise. So. Yeah, that's what you were telling me. You had talked to this person, which is really cool. Good luck on that video. I saw that just released pretty recently. And yeah, DM me again. Obviously, you can DM me whenever, but in January, to remind me that we're gonna chat or live stream, I forget which, and I'll talk about the collections work that I presented on at SVP, and then if you want, I can talk more about Shadowbox too, because those two projects are pretty intimately linked. Hopefully by that point it'll be publicly available so people can download it on Steam and play it and let me know what y'all think. There is no Saurophaganax in Shadowbox at the moment. No Jurassic exhibits yet, I'm sorry to say. Thanks. Yeah, if you give it a try and check out the Chin Lee exhibit that I made, which is one of the smaller ones, it's material, just a handful of specimens from Blue Hills that I've collected that I feel comfortable slapping an ID on. So keep in mind that obviously there's way more Chin Lee material that I can scan and continue building that particular exhibit. If we can get actually, I'll talk to you more in DMs about that one, just in case you haven't been public about that other Chin Lee topic that we've been talking about. But as you know, there is plenty of additional material to scan. It's all a starting point. Yeah, it's really cool stuff. And there is some other kind of private material that I have permission to scan, so that'll be included eventually. But it would be great to get up to Petrified Forest and scan some of the more complete material up there. And the overarching goal, it'll take me quite a while to get there, but the overarching goal is to eventually also be also go out and scan some of that marine Triassic material, all those giant ichthyosaurs that lived just off the coast of these really complex terrestrial ecosystems. That's one of the things about like the late Triassic, as popular of a topic as it is to cover, is that you either get the kind of Chin Lee, Petrified Forest, Painted Desert thing, or you get the giant ichthyosaurs preserved in the shallows, but not a lot kind of linking them together. And it's the really cool thing about a virtual format, is that I can do whatever I want. You know? There is no limitation as far as real estate, physical space, no constraints there. Yeah, that was the stuff I was alluding to earlier. Yeah, whichever public repository it goes to is great, because then it becomes something that I can reasonably come in and take scans of myself. The more complete exhibits that I have made right now are from the Moreno Hill material, so Zuniceratops, Suskityrannus, Hayawati, Nophthernicus. There's a bunch of that material that you'll be able to check out right away. There's also some Menefee stuff. Not a lot of dinosaur material yet. A lot of that stuff is not ready to be photographed and scanned and have that shared publicly. But I did go out this year and scan a ton of in situ petrified trees. So out there we've got all kinds of like stumps that are upright. There are obviously many that are blown over as well, but there's a lot of stuff that's upright, rooted exactly where it grew, and not the kind of thing that you could or would want to collect. But this year, while I was out, doing my thing, managing a dig and all that fun stuff, I was also running around and scanning those things. So I've got a bunch of 3D scans of petrified trees in the Menefee exhibit of stuff that will eventually decay and totally break down because they can't be collected. But I've got a record of them, a 3-dimensional record, in addition to all the photos we've been taking for years. So that's also one of my favorites. Yeah, the scans that I'm doing for Shadowbox are also photogrammetry. I am training at I just got a part-time job at U of A, starting in January, working on a scanning electron microscope. So, yeah, keep in touch about that. Let me know if there's something I can do to help. It's an Android app called Widar, WIDAR. Okay, I am going to go ahead and wrap up because I've still got some other stuff I need to get done today. Some last minute present shopping, but thanks for stopping by, Zeke. And I will chat with you more soon. And thanks for everyone who stops by on the stream, listens to after we're done. Hope you guys all have a nice restful break as well, wherever you can find it.